And Steph, so without a speaker and given this sort of confusion here, how much tougher is it going to be therefore to get some important funding through? For example, calls for Israel funding, for example.
This is going to be a huge issue. Obviously, watching the devastation that we've seen in Israel over the past several days, both, members of Congress and the White House are concerned that some of this chaos in the House will make it difficult for the U.S. to provide the aid necessary to Israel. This has added a layer of urgency. We've been hearing from House Republicans who say that they see what's going on in Israel as another sign that they need to get their act together. They need a speaker. They need to be ready to support our allies. So this is really just raising the stakes even more. And we know that the White House has had discussions internally expressing concern that this speaker situation could hamper their ability to assist Israel. So we will have to see, there is potentially an opportunity for Republicans in the House, for the House to still pass measures to assist Israel, even without, a permanent speaker, but that could be difficult. And we have seen the House work slow significantly since McCarthy's ouster.
And I guess, Steph, that brings me back to Kevin McCarthy, because the thinking around him coming back maybe to run for speaker again was that he could be a figure who would unite the party and get through the necessary aid for Israel, for example. So when he says, don't put me in there, do we believe him? Is that his final answer, so to speak?
I think that's a good question, and something that we're watching closely, whether, if his name is actually put out there, whether this is a position that he'd be willing to take again, if there is actually support behind him. But I do think it's significant that he has repeatedly said that he is not running, that he is not putting his name in the hat. And so he is at least continuing to say, look, you're going to have to choose between Jim Jordan, Steve Scalise, who are the two candidates at this point. But you never know if his name is put out there, if he would ultimately be willing to, again, lead this very fractured caucus.